some young players. Yeah, well, let's save you some money if we bring up guys from AAA.
Yeah. No. And the reason is there are so many players that are tied to contracts at the big league level right now. The way baseball's structured, if you would release a player at the big league level, bring up a AAA player, you're obligated to play that player, pay that player that you released, and then pay the guy that you brought up as well. So as we move forward, the one thing that we do have here that we'll look at is we're going to be free of a lot of contracts that are binding this year. Our payroll is relatively high. A year from now, it's not going to be quite as high simply because some of the players' contracts will be over. What we'll have to decide is, are some of these players we want to bring back, or they're players we want to replace? At that point in time, if you bring up players that are from AAA, basically low-money players, then certainly it saves money for you. The one thing that sustains an organization, and this is going to be one of our main plans, one of our main goals, and we will do this, but it's what you call a 0 to 3 player. When a player gets to the major leagues, you control that player's contract from the day he steps on a field until the end of his 3rd year. After the 3rd year, then you begin to go to arbitration with the player. The salaries begin to escalate. After 6 years, that player becomes a free agent, and they really escalate. A really good ball club is a club that can control and can have good players that are making money from the 0 to 3 year. In other words, it's a low salary player that's very productive. As an example, when I was just left Milwaukee, we had Ryan Braun, who was a Rookie of the Year. You had Prince Fielder, who was the youngest player ever to hit 50 home runs. You had J.J. Hardy. You had Corey Hart. You had Giovanni Gallardo. You had Manny Park. These guys were all players that were in their 0 to 3 years, which allowed them, which they were very productive players, not making any money. That's a great thing, because then you can go out and sign a Mike Cameron and pay Mike Cameron $10 million, because you need that type of player. Now what happens is, after 3 years, those guys that I mentioned, now they go to salary arbitration, they become free agents, and the salaries begin to escalate. So in this baseball industry, there's a fine line between talent, contracts, how long those contracts are, how good their ability is, and how you balance, and how you, as Don said before, how you supply players that come up at low cost.